人を信じるからこそ強くなれる。信じてくれる者が一人でもいる限り、私は人間を信じる。
Hello, my name is Silveroxis, and this week is the Live a Live collab coming to Octopath Traveler COTC. It is a rerun for all the global players, and it is the first release for the C server players now that we have merged. So coming up will be the first unit of the collab for the hero side banner, Oerstead, the hero from Lucresh. He comes as a free 10 pull, so everybody's guaranteed to get this unit. And we are also very much hoping that the global players will also get that 10 pull for free a second time. So, what does Oerstead do? He is a warrior who is also a sword DPS. His main special ability is that the more skills he uses in battles, that he builds up a passive potency up to 45%. So, a multi-DPS build, he can do decent damage without the need for Solon to give him his ultimate. His preferred weapons would be a Void Sword or Brilliant Sword for damage cap up, as he has no issues hitting damage cap because he mainly lacks exceptionally good multi-hits until his EX skill releases, because we do think that he's only going to release as 5-star. If he does release as 6-star, then he will have his EX skill, and in that case, Fortune weapons are good for him as well. Preferred accessories would be sword damage up accessories if you're not running him with Richard, because he only has a passive 10% self-damage up after he gets set up with hero points. Damage cap increase accessories are great if you're main DPSing him, otherwise just, physical attack up accessories. So moving on to his passive skill, he gains Valor points when he uses battle skills, mainly ones that attack. These stack up to 9, they do not expire or go away until the end of battle. And each Valor point that you have gives Oerstead a 5% potency up on all attacks and skills. His 3-star passive is whenever he consumes 3 BP on a skill, he enters a counter stance for the rest of that turn to counter all physical and elemental attacks. This counter attack, if he gets hit with anything, will deal a 1-hit sword AoE that exploits wind weakness. His TP skill passive is that while he has Valor points, he gains additional benefits. Once he has 4 or more, his max HP increases by 10%. Once he has 6 or more, he gets a passive physical attack bonus of 10%. And then 8 or more is where he gets his 10% sword damage up, and also an additional 30,000 damage cap up. So moving on to his skills. So his base skills, he has a 1-hit single target sword. Then he has a very funny sword, a 2-hit sword, single target sword. This is actually his V-slash. This actually has a really cool animation. The skill is very funny because if Oerstead is the only unit alive, meaning the other 7 units are dead or you ran him by himself, this attack actually becomes a 4-hit attack and exploits dark weakness. So it's kind of funny. It's not good, but it's pretty funny. His other skills, he has another 1-hit single target sword that exploits staff weakness and also inflicts 20% physical defense down for 2 turns. 1-hit single target sword that just exploits wind. A priority 1-hit AoE sword that exploits wind and also inflicts 10% physical attack down and speed down for 2 turns. He has a 2-hit AoE sword that exploits wind that also inflicts 15% passive attack down for 2 turns as well. Then we would come on to his only actually decent multi-hit is a 4-hit AoE sword. It's very high at SP cost, but it's the highest multi-hit that he has besides the other skill that requires everybody to be dead. He has a 4-hit random target wind with a low chance to inflict paralysis with each hit for 2 turns. His magic attack stat is not good, so you will not be using him to deal wind damage. He has a 1-hit single target sword that exploits spear weakness and also becomes 20% more potent if the target is broken. And his 6-star upgrade upgrades this skill to make it 50% more potent if the target is broken. So this is just like a strong single-hit nuke, so this is going to be the attack that slams damage cap if you want to use this as your nuke. And then his TP skill is he gives himself HP and SP regen for 3 to 6 turns. 5% SP regen and pretty decent regen power. The main use of this skill is that when he has 3 or less Valor points, he gains 3 Valor points when using the skill. So this is actually a very good skill to use early in the fight to just get a jump start on Valor points. Once he has 4 more Valor points, then it'll restore physical attack and critical if he was debuffed. And once he has 8 or more Valor points, then he'll gain a 1 BP regen for 3 turns when using this skill. So moving on to his EX skill and ultimate, as said earlier, we do think that he's not releasing with 6-star. If he does, then he'll have his EX skill, but either way I want to go ahead and cover it. His EX skill, when he does get it, it has 1 total use, and it's unlocked once he has at least 6 Valor points, which if he uses TP skill and then 3 battle skills means after 4 turns he could have 6 Valor points to use it on turn 5. It is an 8-hit sword that exploits Spear, Staff, Fire, Wind, and Dark Weakness. It is relatively weak, but it is still 8 hits. So that is a very good multi-hit, even if you can only use it once per battle. His ultimate technique is a DPS class ultimate, so it'll take 4 BP to fully charge once you're at least level 8 with it. It's called Dragon Soul, and it's a single hit sword nuke that exploits fire weakness, and it also causes the target to combust for 2 turns. It scales up to 525 power by ultimate level 10, starting at base 440 power, so it's just a very strong hit that's just going to easily damage cap. It does have a very cool animation though, so I do recommend at least checking it out, even if you don't use the unit a lot. So moving on to his Awakenings and A4 accessory. I mean, he tries his best as a DPS, so if you are using him, it's good to have this for extra damage. If Global does end up getting the extra Oerstead for free, or on the 10 pool you get lucky and hit 2 of them, I mean, you can A1 him if you want, or you can still shard the stone. That's up to you. He doesn't need A2. He does not have that many good skills. A3 HP is always good to have, but I mean, he's also warrior, so he's kind of tanky, and like, I don't know if you really got this lucky to get this many of them on a single 10 pull or not. His A4 is called the Hero's Bracer. Okay stats, 70 attack, which is fine, 70 physical defense, which isn't that impactful. Its special ability is that it reduces all SP consumption by 20%. The stats are fine, but like for a collaboration A4 accessory, this is really bad. Like, the ability is just not good. There's so many better ways to mitigate SP issues than using an accessory slot for this A4. So overall, I'd rate this A4, honestly, it would be a D tier. It's not the worst thing ever, just because there are some like ones with worse stats, but it's not good. It's definitely not worthwhile to chase. Like, there's just no reason to pull for this, even if you were a whale and wanting to spend money. So an optimal skill layout, if you're intending to use Oerstead, I would recommend you take the TP skill, the self-regen SP regen, because it gives him Valor points, 3 of them when used early, so that gives you a jump start to getting his potency up quicker. Then I would take his 4-hit AoE sword, because it's for shield shaving and his best multi-hit option. And then I probably would take a single target sword nuke, because it might only be 1 hit, but it'll at least probably damage cap, so for the best damage he can deal, and he does have some of his own in it damage cap as well, so you could soul in someone else and he can kind of maybe side DPS and just help shield save. It's useful because, like, you could be a newer player, and Oerstead being a free warrior is something that you might use for a while too. If you did end up getting A2, I mean, there's really not much else to take, but I mean, you could take the single hit sword that also debuffs physical defense. It's better than nothing. You might use it if you need to stall for turns and not do a multi-hit again. So unit synergy, so yeah, he doesn't want anybody, he doesn't synergize with anybody, he wants everybody dead, because his best skill wants everybody dead. That's it, that's the slide, moving on. But for real, obviously that's a joke, do not do that, that's not a legitimate strategy. If you want to do silly, haha funny, like solo fights with Oerstead, because he's a hero, like, be my guest. But like in actual serious fights, do not kill your entire party just to use 1 skill, that is a terrible idea. To be real, he is a pretty basic sword user. He lacks most good init damage up and physical attack up until he's set up some, and even then it's only 10%. So Richard is great for, you know, helping him along, for passively increasing that up, as well as giving him active buffs. Signar, Sarisa to apply sword res down debuffs, and a good thief like Canary to help with breaking and debuffs. He's just a run-of-the-mill, basic DPS, kind of like early game general pool units, so all the usual supports will work for him. Alright, and so move on to whether you should pull or not pull to rating. Like I said, Oerstead's a cool unit. He's got some cool animations, but he got the 9S curse of being a free, in air quotes, cool collab unit for A0, so everyone gets one copy for free, but you'd have to pull to get more. So he was apparently not allowed to be very good. So, like, yeah, you should obviously do the free 10 pull, but you should stop after that. Like, you should not pull anymore for this unit. Like, if you love the character and you want to max him because you really love Live, by all means, go for it. Character love beats all pull advice for anybody, no matter what anybody says. If you love the character, have fun your way. But, pull plan by the tier play is, the tiers 1 to 4, all of them, I'd skip. Even if you're a whale, like, you're not going to use this unit. If you're a whale, you can afford way better units than this. This A4 is something you'll never use. Like, you'd only take this is if you're like a whale trying to collect everything. Otherwise, like, even if you spent a lot of money, I would still skip this unit. Overall, as a rating, his DPS is B tier DPS, D tier support, no healing, like, other than himself, no tank options, and so overall in the tier list, I'd rate him as like a low C. But yeah, that is the full overview for the free collaboration unit from Live coming this week to Octopath Traveler COTC. Please like, follow, and subscribe for more COTC content, and I will see you guys in the next video. And yeah, please let me know below if you pulled them, or if you got lucky and got a double in the free 10 pull. Alright, see ya.